Hello everyone, my name is Justin Hernandez and I'm doing Chapter 1 Real World Evaluations and the Context in which it is used. Now, before we discuss the chapter, I would like to introduce key terms that I thought were important throughout this chapter and would pop along on the chapter and key significant topics. Those are impact, evidence, program theory, counterfactual, paradigm, and black box. Number one, welcome to the real world evaluation. Now, when you are going to conduct an evaluation of a topic, these are the 7 steps that you would want to follow. Step one, planning and scoping the evaluation. Step two, strategies for addressing budget constraints. Step three, strategies for addressing time constraints. Number four, strategies for addressing data constraints. Step five, addressing and coping with political factors influencing how evaluations are designed, implemented, disseminated, or used. Step six, strengthening the evaluation design and the validity of the conclusion. Step seven, helping clients use the evaluation. These steps are crucial when conducting evaluation, and they'll help you become effective, efficient, and get to the point right away without any clutter. Step number two, the real-world evaluation context. Real-world evaluators most frequently face one of two main scenarios. The first is when the evaluator is called in at the start of a project, but the choice of evaluation design is constrained by budget or time pressures, technical and administrative difficulties in collecting certain kinds of data, or by pressures from clients and stakeholders. Now, this is basically saying that evaluators are going to deal with different kinds of issues, either internal or external. Uh, Real-world evaluation approach was developed to assist evaluators in both developing and developed countries who must conduct an evaluation with time, budget, and political constraints. Number three, the 4 types of constraints addressed by the real-world approach. Now, these 4 constraints are budget, time constraints, data constraints, and political influence. Budget has to do with the amount of money you have to conduct this evaluation. Time constraint is the amount of time that you have to do the evaluation. Sometimes you have a lot of time, sometimes you don't. Data constraints. Sometimes when you're an evaluator and you're trying to evaluate a certain topic, there's not enough data, or there is enough data, but it's hard to pinpoint what data you want to use in your report. And political influence, depending on who, why are you doing the evaluation? Sometimes you have political influences who may prevent you from doing an honest or accurate evaluation, or they might make you focus on particular issues within a certain topic. The next slide, additional organizational and administrative challenges. Often there would be a number of different agencies involved in the evaluation process, and it is not uncommon for them to have different goals for the evaluation. Next, balancing the preferences and operating styles of different agencies can be a major challenge for the evaluation team, particularly in cases where differences of opinion occur. Now, all this is saying is that some of the challenges is that you might have different evaluators have different mindsets, and they might want to set or evaluate the situation differently. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It's just that there are different methods and they may collide if there's multiple evaluators trying to evaluate a topic that's in question. And the difficulty with this is balancing how to conduct and how to work together essentially. Next slide. Real world approach to evaluation challenges. You can see there are challenges, and as an evaluator, you're going to have to deal with these. First, it prevents ways to draw from a wide range of evaluation approaches and methods to address the 4 types of constraints described earlier. And if you don't remember, those four constraints are budget, time, political influences, and I'm trying to remember the last one, but I'm pretty sure you know. Second, the seven-step approach offers corrective measures that can introduce in different phases of the evaluation process, some even after a draft evaluation report has been produced. Third, many quantitative evaluations rely on a pre-test pro-test with statistical counterfactual designed to estimate the change and impacts produced by a project or a program. Next slide. Who uses real-world evaluations? For what purpose and when? As you can see in this slide, there are two main users. The first user real-world evaluation is an evaluation practitioners. The reason why they're conducting evaluations is to identify ways to conduct adequately rigorous evaluation given limitations, to overcome data constraints, particularly the lack of baseline and comparison data, to identify and address factors affecting the validity of adequacy of the findings and the evaluations. Now, those are the first users. The second main user is government agencies, internal development agencies, and foundations who commission evaluations. And the purpose that they would want to conduct these evaluations is to identify and reduce cost and time of evaluation, to be more fully aware of the various constraints under which an evaluation can be conducted, to understand the implications of different real-world evaluation strategies on the ability of the evaluation to respond to the purpose for which it was commissioned. Now we are at the end of the presentation. To recap, evaluators research or evaluate a current topic in a country that's either developed or non-developed. The purpose of an evaluator is to look at a topic, evaluate it, and try to find possible solutions to remedy that specific issue at hand. Evaluators can be conducting evaluations on their own time, part of a group, or commissioned by government agencies. The purpose for an evaluator is essentially to find, as I mentioned before, remedies for an issue. And during this class, you'll notice that we have assigned topics and we are evaluators and we're trying to find a problem and find solutions to that problem. Um, the most important thing to take away is that as an evaluator, there's always going to be constraints, either time, budget, or stakeholders influence, whatever. It's important to maintain composure and stay professional. There are always going to be variables when it comes to evaluations, but main goal is to overcome them and stay on task. And that is pretty much it. And thank you for listening to my presentation. Here's a little treat for you. That's Ted right there, thanking you for listening to my presentation. Look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a beautiful night. Thank you very much.